Hey everyone, it's Wolf614 back at it again with another video. This is our second Daytona race, our recap video for this one. It's a lot smaller of a field than the first race, unfortunately. A lot of people are either waiting until the chase to run again, or just not running because they don't have a shot at getting into the chase. We're working at getting some more people, have some bigger fields, but this race and Chicago probably will have a little bit smaller stuff. Obviously, I'm comfortably in the lead of the regular season points race. However, the points race for 2nd through 4th, and then right around 6th through 8th are really interesting and intriguing. I'll pop up the points real quick so you can see what we were looking at before coming into this race. And then with that, I'm going to hop into the qualifying results. Make sure you subscribe. We're still pushing to 100 subscribers. I got a couple things planned actually when we get to 100 subscribers, so if you want to see what I'm thinking, make sure to stick around, and with that, let's hop on in. So it'd be NASCAR starting on the pole today with Fortnite in 2nd, TR and Cord in row 2 with myself and Hawk in row 3, KLF and Georgia in row 4, and Hub running out the field in 9th.
Be ready.
Race is going green here, boys. Let's go.
There's the green flag. Car outside.
So at the start of this race here, you see we get a pretty good jump. The bottom line really starts to establish itself early as the true dominant line on restarts. You can see NASCAR TR, myself, and then Mr. KLF on the bottom. NASCAR gets shuffled up as we have a small wreck at the start, and then at the end of the start, the 41 shoots gap that really isn't there. I slide, almost collect them, and along with the other two cars, we have an early caution. On the next restart here, I get a little bit better of a jump, but the outside really doesn't get going much, as Georgia doesn't get a good start. But thankfully, TR got a really bad start, and I could hop to the bottom early and hang with them. Here on lap 4, though, you can see a lot of big slides. 24 gets knocked around. The 91 up into the track, into Hub. He gets into the outside wall. And it would be another caution from there. After that, we'd have a pretty clean restart and some good laps. And here on lap 9, however, you can see NASCAR lagging, ghosting. I don't know. I probably did spin him on his screen, but on mine, I never even really touched him because of the ghosting mechanic. But it would keep going green. However, now on lap 12, you can see here Fortnite making a move to the outside. I would go along with to try and push him to the lead. They get stacked up on the bottom with Cord ghosting. I would push the 42 and then bring Hub along with me as we cleared Cord into that. However, I would get passed right away. The outside line on the exit of the corners being ridiculously fast today, and drop back down further to the back of the pack. But once again, get some pushes from Cord, get on the inside, middle of 3, a little touch, a spin, Hub goes around into Cord, and that would cause yet another caution and a late restart here on lap 15. Green, white, checkered. I would get a horrible jump. Hawk would as well. NASCAR fan couldn't really push me to stay up there. However, on the last lap here, into turn 3, I can see the run coming. Here comes Cord. Here comes TR pushing really fast. I jump up in front of Cord and then get the push from TR. Clear Fortnite. TR goes around, and I would win stage 1 here. Then a crazy finish there. Be myself with Fortnite in 2nd, Hawk in 3rd, NASCAR 4th, KLF in 5th, Hub in 6th with Cord in 7th. 8th would be Georgia, and 9th would be TR.
That was glorious.
Into the start of stage 2 now from the lead. I would get a much better restart. Then the 42, he would drop down behind, and it would show once again that the inside line is great on restarts. I would hold this lead until about lap 2 when I would get stuck just a little high, and the 42 would get around me. In the middle of 3, I would be stuck trying not to hit Hub and trying not to slow down anybody else. I would fall to the back. However, get on the outside lane and then start pushing back towards the front. We would start jockeying around, swapping positions here and there. You can see here now I'm pushing Fortnite for the lead. He makes a big block, late move to block the one into turn
I
3.
don't think it was either.
And I would take the lead there for a moment. However, there is a caution in the back, which would cause a restart. On that restart, the outside lane would get off really slowly, and I'd have to take evasive maneuvers not to wreck the one and stick to the bottom, where we would start jostling around
I'll
once
just drive
again.
through you next
Cord got a
time.
little low. A round hub would go, and then the
Oh my
24
gosh.
and the 6 off my nose. A big spin and a big caution there. Now, after a clean restart and a lot of jockeying around, on lap 14 here you can see the 1 and the 6 get into each other a little bit behind me, almost lose the draft. However, they would stay in line with Fortnite and Georgia controlling the field. The 7 elbows out there in the back, causing it 3 wide. Georgia would drop behind as he was ghosting to make sure that he wouldn't hit anybody, but here he would come in a huge block by the 42. Georgia couldn't avoid it in the 91, and they would stay in the lead there with Fortnite.
Holy, what a push.
And then on the lap 16, I would get jostled to the outside lane. NASCAR would get on the bottom of me, and then the front group would pit on lap 20 and or 21, depending on where we were at. I would cycle out in 4th with this front group, and we would stay, us 4, basically nose to tail, until the end here on lap 30. You can see me and Georgia were trying to make a run on the outside, trying to make a pass, pinching the 24 and the 6 on the bottom. However, just as I was starting to get the lead, Georgia would ghost once again, and I wouldn't be able to get that push coming off the corner. Since my points were secured, I'd slow down and let Georgia get that extra point. Didn't know if he would end up needing it or not in his race for second for the points. But it'd be NASCAR picking up the stage win with Cord in second, Georgia in third with myself in 4th, KLF and Hub in 5th and 6th with Fortnite in 7th, and then Hawk and TR rounding out the field.
One bottom. Inside.
So on this restart here in stage 3, we would not get the best jump, but we would stay pretty even on the outside as we would try to push Cord up to the front. We just could start to stall out a little bit. Here on lap 48, you see Hub make a big move off the inside for some reason, which would leave myself, KLF, and NASCAR up front. Here on lap 49, coming to a caution where we were racing back to the line, I would push KLF to the lead to let him have first dibs.
Where
but
is TR
with
going off to?
different strategies.
What
TR
in the
when Georgia would start
world?
up front. TR would get a horrible restart, however, almost brake checking me basically. And it would end up costing me a ton of positions as we would start to work our way back up and through. Here I come with a huge run off the corner, off of turn 2 onto the back straightaway, really breaking up the pack and letting the front 3 start to pull away. I would have to make a decision on lap 56 to stay with the people fuel saving or try and run up front with the top 3. I would decide to stay back and fuel save until lap 64. Everybody else would stay out until lap 65, however, which would be pretty important in a bit. We would catch back up to the pack on lap 66, minus Hub, because Hub had a speeding penalty. So on lap 72 here, the 42 and 91 had caught us, so we were trying to break up their momentum to keep all of us under a blanket. It would successfully work, and then off the corner they would finally split us with Georgia ghosting once again, and then Fortnite dropping to the bottom and getting the lead. Now on to lap 79, on to 80. I would pull out of the way knowing that I wouldn't be able to make it on fuel, so we'd hop over here to NASCAR's point of view. In the 24 car you could see he was hanging back, and then in the middle of 1 and 2 Hub would get loose, they'd get sideways, the 6 would go around, the 41 would get into the 42, and the 91 would spin as well. NASCAR and the KLF would drag race down the back straightaway all the way into turn 3. NASCAR would get in front for a little bit, and having that shorter way around the track would hold up. He would take the victory here to get another win and to put himself in joint second place in points. NASCAR with the win, KLF second, TR sneaks his way into third with Georgia 4th, Fortnite in 5th, Cord in 6th, 7th is Hawk, 8th myself running out of fuel, and 9th was Hub. As mentioned before, like I said, NASCAR would actually tie Georgia for second before the points reset with one race to go at Chicago. It's a super important race now for this spot to get extra points for the chase. You can see the point standings here. It's very interesting. Ice, obviously, since he is not racing Mondays now, he will be left out, and TR will jump into that 8th position or higher if he was able to get there. But with that, it is going to complete this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And until next time, take it easy.